Hey guys, so the first thing I want to do is I think it's important for you guys to know like who I am, what kind of person I am. So I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to give you guys a lot of insight, and this is the real me. You know, a lot of people will not know this information about me, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there anyway, and see where this vlog takes me. But anyways, my name's Virgil. I'm from the USA. I am mixed. I probably look Chinese to you, but I'm half Asian, I'm half Caucasian. I am currently a model and actor. I am living in Hong Kong. I am living my dream. But let me tell you more how I got basically how I got into this. Okay, first of all, when I went to high school, I went to several different high schools throughout the USA, and I had a lot of issues in school, a lot of identity issues. Am I black? Am I Puerto Rican? I was a wigger at one point. So I had a lot of identity crisis. I was never the sharpest needle in the haystack either, so school was very, very difficult for me. I feel like I had a lot of peer pressure. Plus I grew up poor, so I didn't have like the nice clothes or anything that a lot of my friends had. I always had like the crappy house. I was always embarrassed of it. Anyways, I dropped out of high school, and I dropped out of high school so I can work. So I went working full-time. My first job, I was 16 years old. I worked at Denny's restaurant as a dishwasher, you know, full-time, you know, 50, 60 hours a week sometimes. I was proud of it. I was proud of my job. I was making a little bit of money. I was, you know, paying for my car. I was buying my clothes. So anyways, I dropped out of high school. And eventually, 4 years later, I was like, look, I have to at least get a GED or some kind of diploma. So I went to adult night school. It took me about a year. I finally graduated. I don't know how I graduated, because like I said, I was not the sharpest needle in the haystack. I don't care if I look Asian or not. Like, I was not the sharpest needle. So anyways, I got my diploma. I continued to work in the workforce. I left Denny's. I worked in a bunch of dead-end jobs, you know, the 9-to-5 deal. Worked a lot of overtime. I lived in a lot of areas. I lived in a lot of areas that were ghetto. I lived in areas that were white trash. I've also lived in areas that were like middle income, even in areas where it was affluent, very, very, very rich multimillionaires in the area. So I pretty much see myself as like I can pretty much adapt to like any situation at this point. But anyways, I dropped out of high school. I worked in the workforce for many, many years. Not many years, but you know, worked a little bit. And I got to a point where I seen a lot of my friends were all excelling. They were going to college, and you know, they would come back and from like summer vacation, and they would like talk like all smart, you know, and I'm just like, yo, 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 like, you know, like what the hell are you talking about? Anyways, after seeing my friends, you know, after college, they had good careers, and they were making money, and I was in a dead end job. I felt like a loser, you know. My parents weren't proud of me. So a lot of bad things happened in my life, and then it came to a point where it's like, okay, I'm gonna go to college. Like, I need to go to college. I need to figure out like how to get myself in college. So I started reading up on college, and I, you know, read about like what grants are, how you can get free money, and this and that. So, long story short, I ended up going to college. Thank God for grants, because they helped me a lot. But I did have a job throughout pretty much my entire my college career. I always had a job. I worked on internships where I got like minimum wage. I also worked at flea markets. I had my little booth. Yeah, my friends used to make fun of me and stuff like that. It was quite embarrassing having a bunch of junk like laid out there. They, you know, instead of like an entrepreneur, they called me like an entrepreneur. But I had to do what I had to do. You know, my parents weren't giving me money. You know, they weren't paying for my car, so I wasn't as fortunate as a lot of my friends and other people that I've seen. So, and I also had like an eBay store. You know, I started popping things on eBay. You know, like in garage sales, I'd buy and then put on eBay, and I was making a little bit of profit. And then that's where my business sense started like coming in. And I went to basically a community college for 2 years. My first year, I got like no college credits because I was basically all preparatory classes. They were like they weren't even college classes because my level was like ninth grade. I mean, when I went to college, I took like pre-algebra. I took like really low level like reading. So, you know, I told you I'm not the sharpest needle in the haystack. But eventually I pulled through it. 1 year after I got done all my preparatory classes, I started going to real college classes, and then eventually I went to university. I finally graduated university, and then I became a stockbroker. You know, have you guys ever seen that movie Pursuit of Happiness? You know, it's kind of like that. That was like my deal. I became actually it was commodities. I was a commodities broker, but a lot of people don't know what that is. It's the same thing, pretty much the same thing as a stockbroker. I ended up working for like multimillionaires in like Calabasas, California, like multimillionaire day traders. I mean, we traded like stocks, bonds, commodities, futures, and these guys were heavy risk takers. You know, I'm talking about, you know, some days we'd be up $20,000-$30,000, and other times they'd be down like $50,000. Anyways, these guys were rich. They were, you know, I learned a lot from these guys. And one thing I want to point out was college. You know, for you guys who are like thinking about college, or for you guys that are probably like in the ghetto, like college like really changed my life. I really owe everything that I have up here from college. It's not just because I studied finance and stuff like that, because I interacted, I've seen how people like really acted, because like I said, I grew up in a poor area, so I wasn't exposed to a lot of like, you know, formalities, the way people talk, the way people think, all these businesses that they're opening up and stuff like that. And college like opened my mind. I've seen how I looked up to a lot of the professors. You know, all these guys were successful, and like I was very fascinated by that. So college definitely, I mean, it also taught me how to prioritize and how to keep going when there's stress. So I kept pushing myself and pushing myself. And like I said, I eventually graduated, became a commodities broker, stock broker, and I did that for a few years. And it was like a typical 9-to-5 job. It was good money, but eventually I got tired of being a robot, and all of a sudden like something like hit me, and I wanted to do something more exciting. I wanted to become a detective. I wanted to work for the LAPD, Los Angeles Police Department, or the LA County Sheriff's Department. I started going through the process, and I was just about, you know, I wrote my several theses. I mean, there's a lot to it to get on force as a police officer. There's a lot to do, but I wanted to break down doors. I wanted to save people. I wanted something exciting. But anyways, I didn't end up pursuing that. Right before my lie detector test, I just decided to withdraw from the hiring process, and I was like, you know what, I always wanted to be like an actor, so why not go out there and do it now? I have some friends that are actors in Los Angeles, and you know, a lot of them are like struggling, they're not doing like too well, and I thought about acting in LA, but you know, like I had, you know, I'm like, hey, can you guys help me out? They're like, Virgil, you don't have any experience. You know, and they have like a degree or a master's degree in like theater and stuff like that. I have no idea what any of that stuff is. So I moved to China. Since I'm mixed with Asian, I figured that it probably helped me a little bit more. And when I got to Shanghai, it wasn't that easy. I didn't know nothing about acting. I did a lot of stuff on the internet and realized I had to become a model first. And for the first year I was modeling in like Shanghai, it was bad. Like I think I had like, for the first, I didn't have a job until like 6 or 7 months after. It was my first job. It was like low pay. It was like something I found on Craigslist. Before that I went to all the modeling agencies, because I started reading about you need an agent, and none of the agencies would accept me because I didn't have pictures, or my look just wouldn't, it just didn't fit them. They wouldn't be able to make money. So I hustled. I was on Craigslist. I was on the internet trying to find like these black market, low paying jobs. And eventually I got into an agency, and you know, they kind of like helped me, and well, they didn't really help me, but they sent me to castings or like auditions with other models and stuff, and I would see how they pose. And these guys are like professional models. You know, these guys are from like Milan and like Paris, from like all over the world. And then I started, you know, getting a little bit more insight on how that works and everything. So anyways, right now I'm a model actor. I started in Shanghai. I'm in Hong Kong now, and I've been doing it for almost 3 years, and things are picking up. I've been in numerous like TV commercials throughout like China, and I've been in Hong Kong for 1 month now, and it's I feel like I'm doing pretty good here as well. So I hope you guys subscribe and live through me vicariously. All right? If you guys have questions, just comment below. And again, like I said, this is the real me. If you guys know me on the streets, I am not like this at all, but this is the real me. All right? Peace.